Enrico is a vice president of software quality assurance at American Specialty Health. And Enrico and we were chatting a while ago about the interview processing, right? About how it works and what's the most like common issues, mistakes that people doing, and why resumes are not going through, and why you actually getting rejected. So let's talk about it today. Welcome, Enrico. Thank you for.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And, just as a reminder for people, resumes, managers that are reviewing resumes, they spend, if you're lucky, a couple of minutes. So, it should be spit polish. And I am very thankful for the volunteers that we have today. I don't know how many we're going to go through today, 4, 5, or 6, as many as we can. Thank you for sharing with us your resume and for giving us, the courage and having the courage and having to share this. I think in this particular session, we're going to try something interesting too, right? Where we're going to have audience participation in this.
Oh yeah. Thank you for
So,
reminding me,
yeah.
Enrico. Yeah, definitely. That's another thing. Before we will provide the feedback, we guys want you to see the resume that we are sharing right now. This is the first candidate. I requested to remove the name and to remove the company names as well, so we won't be able to identify this person. However, this person is looking into this session right now, and he getting notes as well.
Right.
And that should be very useful for you as well. So, guys, in the chat, or also one more thing. Sorry, guys, we're doing this the very first time, so we're also kind of new for us. Do we have managers in the participants? Whoever is participating here, just hit. You can, if you don't want to expose your name, you can hit me in the Slack channel, in this channel, privately. So we also would like to hear your opinion, and we welcome anybody from our audience who is reviewing the resumes for somehow, or checking the resumes. You are welcome to join us right now.
Yes. And just as a reminder, we see a lot of chat around how to share your resume. So you can share it to the Slack message that Evgeny put up there. But once again, reminder: please remove your personal identifiable information, because as you can see here, this first brave candidate right now is we're sharing their resume. So anything that could identify you, please change it. Look at that candidate, city name, current company, just obfuscate the data. So someone is saying that we're not able to share the resume through Slack. So I don't know, maybe Irina, if they can send it to her, or
Yeah, you can send
Evgeny, you
to.
can try to send it to Evgeny or Irina, and maybe that will work as well.
It's. I mean, it should. You should be able to post your resume in the Slack. Okay. We'll give you. So here's what we're gonna do. You see the resume. You guys, are you able to see clearly what is displaying here? Hit plus in the chat. I can. Okay. So review the resume. I'll give you 1 minute. I think it's more than enough, and then you can give your feedback. What do you think is good, or what this candidate should improve in the wording, formatting, in the contest? Maybe it's not really clear, or whatever you think. And you can post in the let's do this right now in this in the Zoom chat. Let's keep this conversation in the Zoom chat. But so also, in order to share your message and the other people can would be able to see, click on the drop down, and you see two panelists and attendees. So share your message to panelists and attendees. Okay, so what do you guys think is this candidate should improve? Let's start with this thing. Anybody? And please, guys, don't send me your resume right now in the private message. Ira, we have a Ira. Let me make her. Okay, I see Ira. Ira is our volunteer and she's helping us. I move you to panelist. Okay, Olga is saying info about the boot camp. What do you mean info about the boot camp? I mean, guys, if you have something to say, please be more specific. I would put contact information on the top. Okay.
Yep.
Resume.
So that's a good one. So contact information at the top, including LinkedIn profile. That's really good feedback. And of course, if you have a GitHub, those are kind of two typical links that you'd want to put at the top of your resume.
Seems cluttered.
So we got a little bit of feedback that says it seems cluttered. So, to kind of maybe extend a little bit on that one to help this candidate, study the formatting. I think the column-based resume is a little bit harder to read, agreed. So, when you're reading right to left, wide is easier to read than two columns in a row, and makes it narrow. So that's a good feedback from the audience. And then, some formatting of the last bullet at the bottom about the defects. Good. Font size is very small. So that's really good feedback from Seth, because when you are reviewing a resume and a manager is spending, a minute or 2 minutes and they're reviewing many resumes in a day, a little bit larger font could help on that one. So good.
Yeah, but I cannot make it. I mean,
Yeah.
when I try to make it fit.
I think they meant just in general. The font,
Yeah,
the actual. Yeah.
I
think
agree.
it's good.
I agree. Yeah. It looks like this font is like a 11, right? Or
Yeah.
even maybe, yeah, looks like 11.
So Richard's feedback is very good. What he's saying is that you might be saying the same thing many times. So you've done testing in a web-based application, but then you have experience testing in a web application, and you worked in a web-based application in Agile. So those repetitive points, while it's important and it's valuable, it's real estate. So your resume is around real estate. So if you could put it in there once, you've already told the manager you have that skill. Repeating it multiple times is not beneficial to you if your real estate is very valuable.
I like the feedbacks. I like the
Yeah,
feedbacks.
very good. Kristen, Jude, that's right. The column based versus wide. So that's really good.
Accomplishment not there. For example, worked on web-based applications in Agile. What did you do?
Right.
What did you accomplish? What did you learn from it? Yeah, good point.
Good. And I think Olya's comment about the boot camp, maybe there was an assumption that, I see that they're the IT Academy software testing boot camp. Maybe I think the comment was, what were some of the topics that you learned at the boot camp? So in your education, this particular candidate cites software testing boot camp, but did not talk about what they learned or contributed to the boot camp, or hopefully there was a GitHub involved in the boot camp where they can actually show off their projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I would add short description of each company.
So Leo's, I was going to talk about this one, and I read this recently in LinkedIn that and many of you can agree or disagree with this one, that the summary section is either an obsolete thing to put in a resume. So that's a pretty extreme stance. So that's what Leo said. The summary section is not useful. There are talks about that being a redundant or kind of an old school thing to put down. But more importantly, I think that the more nuanced detail is soft skills that people put on the summary, like I love working in big groups or I am a team player, is really a waste of real estate space. Because as a human being, we all assume that we're all good with people and we can communicate well and all these things. So the summary page is okay if you're going to put it in there, but try to avoid soft skills in your summary page. Highlight more around accomplishments, bugs caught, things that are very objective as opposed to subjective.
Yeah, this is very interesting topic because in my personal resume, I had it this summary for quite a while, like maybe like I was with the summary applying for 3-4 years probably. Then I just remove it because I put it just my experience, and in the experience I make it very clearly what I did there. And I mean, it's very subjective. Some people says that yes, it's required, and I heard a lot like from other people that saying that summary is not really required. But if you, I totally agree with Enrico. If you put the summary or just highlight the very important thing that is actually really important.
Yeah.
If you're just a good team player, I mean, you should be a team player. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's not. This job is not your. You should
Yes.
not apply to this job, right?
And then Nabhan, I'll turn your question back around to you. Um, so yes, we should all have our GitHubs, and the question back to you is, why do you only have one project on there? Because as a practitioner of our craft, of our skill, whether it's QA or web development, any of the projects that you're doing in there, you should continue to keep that alive. Take pride of your GitHub as if it's a plant that you're growing. It's something that you nurture. So to answer your question, definitely, yes, put it in there, but then beyond that, continue to nurture it and grow it. And the last thought I had on this particular candidate as a reviewing manager, just a little bit deeper than kind of the feedback that we're seeing in here. It reads as a manual tester. So it's and that's fine, because if this particular candidate is applying for a manual testing position, that's good. I see bits and pieces around Java, Selenium, TestNG, but I can already tell when reading the resume that there could be a little bit of a struggle if questions start going down that area. So just be cautious what position you're taking. If you're gonna talk about being a QA analyst and you're talking about 40% test reduction or coverage and TestNG and all these things, that could actually go against you in your favor. So just be very cautious about that one line, about the third bullet in there.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I like it. Yeah, totally. Let's move with the
Yeah.
next one. Okay, guys, you know what? I just realized that this chat won't be displayed in the recording. So let's move to the Slack. Let's post your comments in the Slack, and the Slack would be able to share it. Let me, yeah, let's post it in the Slack. All right.
It's really
Okay.
good feedback, everyone. So please,
Yeah, very
this
valuable.
is
Very
really
valuable.
valuable.
Okay, let's move the second. Okay.
I'm so sorry. We still have one question. Where is questions and answers?
Mhm.
Is the design of resume important to you or not? Lines, columns, textiles, and etc. What do you think, guys?
It's like, it's representing a human, so it should be representative of you. Um, Design is key, and don't just follow a standard template. But once again, design can also be very um, dangerous. So, if column-based design might be a little bit difficult. So now in our second one here, this reads more like a standard resume. If I'm reading 5 of these, I can go through this very quickly, and to me, this looks very easy to read. This is just something that, to me, it's easier in my eyes to read something. I haven't read this resume yet, but it looks very easy to me to read right now. So um, that's the danger of design. But if you want to stand out, design is a great way to do it when done well. So, okay, let's get some feedback on this, everyone.
Yeah, let's please post your feedback in the Slack channel, in the networking channel. Once again, if you don't know where is networking, just check in the general channel. I put the the link to the networking. Okay, let's put your comments in here so we can record them. Yeah, and you also can post your resume in the networking. But I have 3 more resumes who is in the waiting list. So let's do this after that. One and first and fifth bullets seems the same info. Oops.
First and fifth bullet.
Oh, probably here. Automation.
Sorry, Manoj, can you help us maybe with the first words on that one? I don't see it. Oh,
I
first.
mean, first 5.
Oh, got it. Okay. Um, yeah, I think you're going back to that summary area about being, is that a redundant section? In this particular case, it really is a true summary. It's not very subjective. It's quite objective actually, right? 6 years to highlighting things. Um, right, very objective, not soft skills like, I'm friendly or all these things.
I
But
think
yes.
what he mentioned, yeah. I think I get what he's saying. He says that 6 years of experience in software QA is pretty much the same thing as 6 years of progressive experience in SDLC test methodology. So it's basically uh, should be included in this one, right? So maybe it's the second is redundant.
I am gonna, bring this up in here because I review, easily 10 resumes probably per day. That bullet about the green card holder is, I would suggest for everyone in the audience to to keep this resume specific to your skills, not specific to your status in the United States. There's so many variables and factors with this one, right? With immigration and all these things, I would leave that out. I think it will come up during your discussion with the recruiter anyway. So I don't think this will either help you or hurt you per se. But I don't think it's needed. So. Yeah, I agree with you, Seth, on that one. And I see it all the time.
Right. Reduce test execution time. Leo's.
Yeah, that's really great, Leo. Yeah, Leo's feedback is on point with the metrics. So kudos to this particular engineer for adding metrics in their resume. but Leo's providing some valuable feedback about, what those percentages mean. I think someone on the other chat is asking how to get on. Vien, the channel itself is actually called networking. So if you do a search for networking channel, you should be able to see it.
Yeah, let me post the Slack channel again one more time if you cannot get in.
What else?
I see somebody's typing there.
Yeah. Does font type matter? That goes to style, design, readability. This looks like Times New Roman. Okay, yeah, I can see it at the top now. Why not? That's probably the default word anyway. Oh, maybe another feedback on this one, since we did receive this as a Word document. First of all, with the Word document, ensure that you don't have anything that's underlined or squigglied in red or blue. I don't know why I'm seeing blue in there. There's probably a missing space somewhere. So if you're going to deliver your resume in Word, make sure there's no errors in it. So that's rule number one. Rule number two is, I would say, do a file save as PDF. PDF just tends to be more portable. It's just easier for people to transfer, and you don't get weird formatting on the different applications that open this docx file. So that's my other recommendation on the formatting.
Yep. And for mock interviews, for example, we require to deliver the resume in PDF format.
Does the location matter, M? I like location, especially with COVID times and being remote. I think that's valuable information to hear. It also shows, patterns. This particular person has been working in the Bay Area for a while, so that has its own cachet, that has its own set of positive vibes. If you are every 6 months jumping to different cities, that has its own message. So once again, it matters, the location matters if there's a purpose of what you're trying to deliver as well in that message. It's real estate. Every word on this resume, you're trying to deliver not just the word, but a message behind that word. Nabila, I think PDFs are going to be fine. JobVite and all the other job scanning tools scan PDFs pretty well, and actually, it's good for accessibility. PDF should be fine.
3 lines for company info and work period is too much.
Yeah. So a little comment on that one, which I noticed the other resume didn't have it in here. I do actually like a one-liner or a two-liner about what the company does. Unless your company is like Google or Facebook, where you don't have to explain that one. It's as a manager who's reviewing. This one says PSAV or whatever other companies he has in here, or she has in here. Defining a little bit what that company does actually helps me with one of my questions, which is, hey, I'm trying to understand what you were doing or what this company does. That could help.
Okay. Anybody else? I like Leo's comments.
Yeah, very good, Leo. Must be a hiring manager.
Leo, do you want to join
You'll
as a
be on
panelist?
next.
What did you do to reduce flakiness of tests?
No, it's great job, Leo.
What principles did you follow and implement? Love it. What were the issues and how did you fix them?
Yep. And Leo's message is very important. So for example, when he says, what were the issues and how you fix them, that shows innovation. Everyone is going to have Selenium on their resume. Everyone's going to talk about page object models. Everyone's going to talk about TestNG and parallel executions. But for example, significantly reduce flakiness of automated tests. What did you do? Did you, make sure your identifiers are stable? You pulled all your identifiers into an isolated file and created static identifiers to reference them. Did you put wait states in here? What Leo is asking is really important. The kind of the advanced model of putting percentages and data, which is good. This is great that you're doing this, really will help you show off that innovation. Yeah, Rick, that's the big one, Rick. I think a lot of resumes tend to talk about what, and then on top of the resume, when people start interviewing, it's always, I want to learn, or this is what I think I can gain from your company. And you are correct. Remember, this is a job. The company pays you a salary. In exchange, what will you do to help? What will you do? What did you do to help? And what did you leave behind as a legacy for that company?
Yep, totally. All right, I think there's someone also typing, maybe. Enrico, do you have any other inputs? Too much to put in the resume. I mean, yeah, it's very subjective. Okay, let's move with the next resume, right? Okay, let me open this one. Also, I would like to see the language they used.
Yeah, that former resume we just saw, as far as a language, for me, when I read it, it looked like that was a JavaScript automator. Most of their terminology, most of their experience, their tooling was around the JavaScript world. So that's a message. So for organizations that favor that's really good.
Hold on, this resume.
And I think going back to that previous one, I think that was really important. Picking a language or a theme is valuable. If you're a Java person and you're applying for Java jobs, that's really, really important. That particular candidate, the last one, favored JavaScript technology. So they should be looking for JavaScript jobs out there, which there are, and they would have a lot of benefit in doing that one. If they're going for an organization that wants Python and all their experience is in C# or Java, maybe that'll be a little bit harder. So, and then the worst case is when everyone puts every language imaginable, and they can't support any of the languages. So,
Yep. Okay, so this one has 2 pages. Let me put it the chat. I want to record the chat as well. Okay, let's review the first page. I think
maybe first page, yeah.
Yeah. Some records, not at all. Yep.
there's a lot in this one.
Yeah. Does font type matters? Nabil Han is asking. Oh, there's already a reply. I think the matter is only like how easy to read it, right? It does. I think it does matter what kind of font you use, but it matters like how easy to read. Just keep it in mind. Like what Enrico said, managers spend like not more than 20 seconds to review your resume. If it's hard to read and probably there is a big chance that it will go to another pile.
Wow, this one's hard for me to critique because I already, I can already shape this particular candidate of what their background is, what their experience is, and where they would excel in kind of in that hardware network engineering space. And I know all the acronyms that are on this resume, but as like a web-based or application-based software team, I don't normally see resumes like this, and probably a person like this would be applying mostly to companies that are looking for more of that hardware software interaction.
Yeah, Leo said about the education line.
Yeah, the summary actually helped me on this one. The minute I saw it, I was like, wow, there's a lot in here. But the summary is actually very good because it helped, no pun intended, summarize the whole resume for me. I already knew going into this resume that this person was going to be working for a company like Teradata or EMC or Cisco. This is where they would thrive in. They're already delving into DevOps space, into IT ops. So that actually summary is actually quite good in pulling that all together. Yeah, this one's a tough one to provide feedback in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leo, that's an interesting one. I'm making an assumption. I don't know who this candidate is, and I don't know their situation, but they were at this company for 6 years, or they are at this company for 6 years in this startup, and as a lead, I don't know if the lead was all for here in the US or if there was any outsourcing involved. So, what does that mean to do automation from 2 weeks to 2 days? Did that person really do it all themselves, or how many people behind them do the work?
Any hardware testing measurements equipment involved.
Bob, I can see some in his toolbox somewhere in here. This FIO or IO meter. I don't know much about it, so that probably has something to do with it. And
not familiar either.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like maybe hard drive kind of IO type measurements.
That's kind of weird line, keywords.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, scripting is, I can understand that what he's trying to say. OS also, but the keywords is like, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's move with the next one. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's very specific resume targeting for specific jobs. That's what I would say. Okay.
Eric's begging for us to get through his. Eric will try.
Yeah, we have like two more.
Yeah, let's go real quick and
Yeah.
hope we did this one already.
Yeah, we did that. The resume. There is. Okay, let me open the chat.
Okay, you guys type really fast so we can go through it.
Yeah. Okay, it's one page. Yeah, one page. Here we go. Business analysts.
Wait, is Eric being funny? Oh, I see it. I'm sorry. No, yeah, no, it's the same feedback as the other one. I think had green card in there. So, yeah, please remove that bullet. I thought he was making fun of the other one. Sorry, Eric.
What did he accomplish between 2008 and 2019?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's an interesting feedback that Leo has in here, and it's possible that we have folks in the audience who have the same experience where there's gaps in your resume. So what Leo's pointing out in here is the gaps in the resume can be identified by a hiring manager because they're going to ask for your education. So if this particular candidate, let's assume, graduated in 2008, but they don't have a job until 2017, that job will be picked up. So then this candidate put 2008 to 2017, they were a BA. But for some reason they chose to omit bullets in there unless there's a second page. I don't think so.
No.
Maybe because they didn't think it was relevant to the position that they were hiring for. But remember, transferable skills are whatever you do in life, whether it's inside the house, outside the house, you have to have transferable skills into the position. And this particular candidate should try to come up with some creative transferable skills as a BA that would be suitable for a QA position.
Yeah, business analyst very relative.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, at least 2-3 bullets. Yeah, I agree.
So Bob's feedback, yeah, and this one is actually, if we had this candidate doing a mock interview, you're correct about that, Bob, and I actually would have asked that same question to this particular candidate because it could possibly show a hobby. It could show an interest in technology. If this particular candidate can start talking to me about building PCs and fixing issues for friends and their PCs, optimizing their video cards, or all these kinds of things, maybe that will help with that type of discussion. And then when they start talking about installations and upgrades, you can have conversations around operating systems and how those are important. And then it might lead to Linux, it might lead to Windows or Macs. And so now that you can start to get that passion in technology that this candidate would have, which is, I think, important when this particular candidate has maybe not as much technical experience with creating frameworks or have a computer science background. So in that particular case, if that's the point of this bullet, kudos to the candidate. But if you can't speak to all the things that I just said in there, Bob's correct. Better get that thing out of there. It could get you into real big trouble.
Yep. It's like rule number 1. Whatever you are not comfortable talking about, just don't mention it.
Yeah.
Curious about having exposure to test automation listed for experience, but have Selenium WebDriver.
Yeah. I think it's a trick, Rick. It's a what's the term? I don't know if the right word is not euphemism. It's a trick. So the trick is to use the word have exposure to or exposed to. It can get through some managers. It looks like it didn't get through you. It doesn't get through me either. As soon as I hear the word exposure, I know what it means. It just means that they are experienced with it in their current company. Someone in their organization uses it and they've heard about it, they've seen it, and they want to get credit for it. Once again, another possible landmine for this particular candidate. Be really, really careful about the exposure to test automation. What's better for this particular candidate is if they know these terms, spend the time to go beyond exposure. Why not actually do some of it? Why not actually take some classes behind in there? Start writing feature files. Start doing some Java and some assertions and APIs programmatically. Then you can evolve from being exposed to actually having academic practice. Maybe academic practice is a little better than exposed to.
Yep. Perhaps them lists is an interest. Yep.
Cross-platform testing is another interesting topic. I think in one of the chats in the past over in our Slack in here, someone was talking about cross-platform testing and companies like Sauce Labs and Browser Stack and all these things. And great, all positive, those kinds of things. But cross-platform testing, I think the better way everyone should be prepared about that if they're going to put it in their resume. Tip here is make sure you understand the why. Just don't tell me what cross-platform testing is. Make sure you understand why you do it and make sure you can defend that very, very well with defects, with examples. It's very, very expensive to do cross-platform testing. You should be able to defend it from an economic standpoint as well, if you're going to put that in there. So remember, companies like Browser Stack, Sauce Labs, all those things, those are not free. So you need to be able to defend it with the why.
I'm just thinking, a while ago, cross-platform testing was like a must.
Yeah.
Now
it's hard, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like every company, they were like building their labs.
Right.
I think, I don't know.
And with Chromium built into Edge, and Chrome is kind of 70% usage around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent is understanding business. This is really bold statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think let's move with the next
let's
one,
move on.
right?
Yep.
I think we got okay, let's oh no, why?
Cover letters.
Yeah.
We don't get them in our so when we go through our system, our system that takes in resumes and applications from external, I don't get to see the cover letter, so it's hard for me to speak to how important it is with the our recruiter themselves. But yeah, I don't see them generally. And I know it could take a lot of time for you to do it. Better to spend time, honing your skills and refining your resume.
Yeah, good point, Leo. Yeah, if company doesn't require, don't do it. Okay. Candidate.
Here's a subtle one that I'm going to add, throw out for this particular candidate. If you're listening, in your platforms, Android and iOS are good because that shows that you have experience with mobile testing. Windows and Mac OS is a little interesting because most applications that we're developing now are web-based. So they will work on Chrome, whether it's on Windows or Mac or Linux anyway. So not sure what you're trying to indicate in there unless you're talking about actual desktop applications for Windows or desktop applications for Mac OS, and then that would be beneficial to that one. So just be a little, that's always one of those interesting ones with platforms where you're mixing the concept of web-based applications and native applications or desktop applications. Yep, there it is. Browser stack, Sauce Labs. Better be able to defend that financial investment. That's my tip to you on this one. Even if you didn't pay for it, even if you didn't choose it. Anything else from the
Leo. He could add the languages and testing frameworks they used in each company.
Yeah, so
it looks like more manual.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Actually, I thought that this candidate did a good job staying in their lane, not reaching too far out, didn't have some of the previous feedback we had, which was,
Java
exposed
Selenium.
to Java Selenium coding. So it look like maybe someone has already reviewed this for them, or they've just known not to put things in the resume that they can't speak to. So Leo, you're right. If they can support it, they should put it in there. But maybe this particular candidate was honest enough to say I can't support it, so therefore I'm not going to put it in here. And yeah, it reads very much like a solid, QA engineer with SQL queries to do validation, REST APIs to determine, whether they pass fail, what the responses are, and
actually it stays here, languages, right?
Yeah, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript is subtle. Obviously, websites are built with those components in them. So what that means for this particular candidate, that's probably the only area in there that they should be able to defend technically. But those are pretty straightforward. Hopefully, as a QA engineer, you should be able to learn or to understand what all those things. And please, as one more tip for everyone here on the audience, please know what the acronyms mean. especially that second one. You know, everyone talks about CSS selectors and automation, but somehow when you ask them what CSS is, people get confused. So please study that. Yeah, Vic, can you tell us what it is? Please make sure it's not cross-site something or other, which I've heard someone say before. So
Computer science
computer science security section.
section.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Vic. Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so anything else to add?
Eric wants us to review his. I don't know if we have his.
Yeah, Eric, you can send me. Yeah, let's send me. You can send me in the private.
All right,
in the direct
guys,
message.
everyone on the channel, Eric wants to hear it from you all. So
Yep.
thank you for bravely doing this, and he wants as much feedback from everyone. So please give it to him.
All right. Wait. Okay, I see that.
Vic, if you want, you can Slack it to me, and I'm happy to give you some feedback. Ooh, this is
Okay.
Eric's color.
Yeah.
Nice.
At least it's catching the eye, right?
Just send it to me personally, Vic, into my name. I'm on that Slack if you want. I'll just provide you feedback separately. All right, come on, panel. Come on, audience. Let's provide Eric some feedback here.
Okay. Be brutal.
Yep. Be brutal.
I would change the format and put too much white space on the right side. Instead, talk about your experience, said Leo. Don't make some words bold in others' eyes.
Bob, are you seeing that in? I haven't gone through Eric's resume. I'm chatting with some others. You're seeing that in Eric's resume, or is that more of a generic question? Oh. For us, it's one of our top requirements. So yes, it is, and there's many reasons behind why that is. And I'd love to have a conversation with you about that one and your kind of experience around that area and why you asked it. And, you know, yeah, that's a really great topic. Mocks are critical, but to answer your question, yeah, as QA evolves, QA engineering, SDETs and all that, you can't rely on system level data. You won't be able to scale fast enough. How about some feedback for Eric?
Oh yeah, I actually missed one more resume.
Yeah, we
I
can.
see some people complaining. Yep, let me open it. Well, come on, this one.
This Eric's. We're doing Eric's right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually agree about the bold font. I think it's not necessarily in the experience. If you list it in the skills, I think that's more than enough. You may remove weekly all hands meeting and sprint. I would only put, okay. I would only put school to finish under the education section. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, education, when you emphasize education in that many bullet points, it looks like that you're pretty new to that. And you're trying to emphasize your education.
And then Eric, you have a little bit of an, and maybe because you've kind of removed some of the information on your resume, but just be careful on your dates. When dates overlap, once again, it's probably because you remove some data on here. Just be careful on why your dates overlap. 2018 at current versus 2019 at 2020. So. Yeah, so right, and I know it's a tough one with the side projects. So there's the work part, which what a hiring manager is looking for, something that, let's use the word professional, right? Professional is something that you get paid to do. So if it's a section around being a professional and you get paid, that's one area. And then the side projects, if it's a hobby or it's something that you do freelance or not freelance, because you can get paid for freelance, but something that you do to help others or to hone your skills, just put that in a separate section. And then education is the area that refines your skills. So you have like Nightwatch, which is a great framework in JavaScript that you're using. And I don't really understand Nightwatch, JSON, Selenium, what the kind of intertwine is in there. But I'm not sure why that's an education versus part of that hobby or side job that you did. So just kind of make those clearer and then maybe as the education part is, you might have done YouTube or LinkedIn Learning or Udemy or anything like that to hone your JavaScript skills. That would be good for education. Yeah, if you get paid, then it should be a part of the professional experience. That's fine.
I'm not quite getting this question. It should be covered in source code and ID. Enrico, I mean, uh, uh, shall, can you restate your question maybe? Did you just use JMeter or did you create some JMX scripts? Yeah, it's not clear here. Okay. All right. Enrico, do you want to add something?
Oh, sorry, I got put into mute. No, I was going to say, Eric, if you did a boot camp, that would go under education. I'm not sure if Dev Mountain is what that boot camp is, and where you would just talk about the purpose of the boot camp. Was it around performance testing, functional testing, or just testing in general? And then you can give hopefully you have some examples in your GitHub. That's always nice to have. Oh yeah, don't forget, make sure you have some you got your, I think you removed your GitHub URL to clear it up. So you do have that already. Good.
Test against an overflow with Expo. Yeah, it's not clear.
Some sort of CI/CD reference. I'm not sure either.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's some new fancy tool. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think about the formatting, about the styling?
I actually, I know Eric, this is going to be harsh, and I'm actually happy to work with you on this one offline. Let's not even worry about the formatting and the spacing right now. We have some areas to walk through bullet by bullet so that you can have a clearer. Right now, all the feedback I'm seeing from everyone in here is everyone's just kind of confused which way you're heading, or what what your mission is, or what contributions you can make. So yeah, maybe you and I can chat offline, and I'd love to spend a little bit of time with you bullet by bullet and try to help you shape this where people may not, so we can get a bit less confusion, and then from there we can get some feedback from other people. So
Okay, let's yeah, I missed.
there you go, MD.
MD Marodi. Okay.
Of course, there's the authorized one, right? Mara, hopefully you've already seen that one. Yeah.
I clearly stated to remove all names. I mean, it's.
Oh no, the work authorized in the U.S. I think that we've seen that 3 times already. Yeah. So Mara, I think you've got that. Yeah. And Eric, I'll that's why, definitely hit me up. We can refocus some of yours because it is that confusing thing that people are feeling. So hit me up and we'll get you lined up.
Let me make it this way. Okay, too long at 5 years. I think a resume can be condensed to 1 page.
Oh, Eric, I think A is providing feedback for the current one we're reviewing now, Mara's.
Yeah.
Which with 5 years of experience, 2 pages might be a little too long.
works in a fast-paced environment is not necessarily.
Yeah. So it's those soft skills or subjective skills. I think just kind of we've seen that as a pattern for pretty much all the resumes. Just be cautious on the subjective or soft skills that you have in your career summary. It's okay to have it in there. Just try to keep it objective. Bob.
TFS, is that because they
Their
keep
IT, oh, he's just saying that TFS is an on-prem solution for Microsoft, and a lot of people have moved to Azure DevOps. But hey, maybe their IT department, Bob, likes to maintain their TFS servers. So
horror story about TFS.
yeah, they're good. It's fine.
Actually, also never used TFS.
You've never used it? Yeah,
Yeah.
we've done been a company for 5 years. That's what we use. We had TFS and moved to Azure DevOps now. I mean, can't knock Microsoft. Sometimes they're the number one company. Sometimes Apple's the number one company. So depending on the stock price. So if you're number one or number two in the world, hard to knock them.
That's true. I think the first page career summary is too much, like in technical skills. That could be definitely fitted in couple bullet points, not the whole page. And work experience could be fit also in the first page. Easily to read. And also like strong knowledge of software testing lifecycle. The third bullet point, I think it should not be mentioned because it's our job.
Yeah.
So this kind of thing make me more gives me more questions than the answers.
Right.
Extensively involved back testing, writing a SQL, writing and executing SQL queries. I mean, it's the database.
Yeah, I think this particular one is just overall, good. Oh, my computer's acting up. Functional QA tester, 5 years experience, and they've done a good job of staying in the lanes, not too much technology to get tripped up on. That's good. And the only thing I would add is I think we've seen the feedback in the past was try to put some metrics in here. So if you're talking about the bugs that you report, talk about some cool bugs or a number that you have. Talk about the number of test cases you've written, and because once again it's what you give to the company. So these metrics are really important. If you write 100 test cases per week versus 1 test case per week, that has its own value. Yep. That's a value, right? If you're going to get paid as X salary and you contributed Y to the company, that's really important.
And yeah, also Leo, that's what I'm saying. You did a backend testing, just performing SQL queries. It's just a part of it, right?
Yeah, so that's, where is that one?
I think we are talking about this one.
Yeah, very, very good one, Leo. So this is a good message for those in the audience, is be really cautious about terminology. Backend testing kind of indicates more server side, and server side is how you're hitting the APIs, how your database is considered part of the backend. So just be careful on your terminology in here, um, especially because you did talk about hitting APIs
Experience.
with Swagger and Postman. So just make sure you're really clear in what that means, that backend testing. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and the experience. So basically, yeah, it's basically
Two
almost
places. Yeah.
same bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. So if in this particular one, it's going to be better to say performed, validated, the backend with your SQL queries to make sure it wrote to the database or something. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. I think that was pretty heavy
Yeah.
session about the resume review. I think if you guys will apply at least half of this what been said, I think you will improve. You will improve your resumes definitely, right? All right, guys. Let's wrap it up really quick. I want to say thank you to Enrico. Let's say thank you to Enrico, and also want to say thank you to Leo, Eric, Bob, who also provide the lot of good. Rick also provided
Yeah.
good feedback. Love it, love it.
And thank you for the candidates who presented their resumes. It's for your bravery for doing that. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you very much, guys. All right, and we'll see you on the our next mock interviews and the next meetups. Please follow us. I will post the recording of today's session in the YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to grow, and I think it will help too many people. All right, thank you very much, and have a nice day. The rest of the day. Bye.